Welcome to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprofit.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Profit Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today we're doing our first Mailbag episode of the year. We're going to be doing these every Thursday from here on out. We'll do it, every week during the season. We'll do it next week again, right before the start of week one. So get your questions into us every week. We'll always have a post on Instagram probably every week for questions, but you could definitely email us at fantasyfootballprofit at fantasyfootballprofit@gmail.com. You can do that there. We'll get the questions every single week. So we're just going to jump right into the questions this week, Jeff. So we got quite a few of them came through, a bunch of different random. So there's no real, there's no organization to this. This is just, we're going to go with some questions here and see what we got. So first one comes in from Owen. Would you draft Melvin Gordon?
Yeah, at the right price, of course I would.
At everything at the right price, right? The right value.
So I guess the question is, when would I draft him? It's a very tough one because I didn't end up with him on any of my teams. So obviously I thought there was value in other places, and he does truly worry me. I think that there is a real possibility that he misses a significant amount of time. They haven't given any indication that they really need him on the team. So I don't like the way this is going. So he would have to drop quite a bit for me. What about you?
Yeah, I have to have him late in the draft, or later, it's not even first 4 rounds anymore. I don't know if he's coming back anytime soon. And that's a pretty big risk to get a guy that early. So I'm kind of staying away. I'm pretty much staying away at this point and not drafting him just because, man, it's a lot to, big cost to put him on your team right now. So I'm not drafting him right now. All right, so Owen has another question here. Who's your favorite for the Super Bowl? Who's your favorite to win?
Tell you the truth, Owen, I'm not thinking that far ahead.
Patriots.
Yeah, always.
I'm just not going against them anymore.
Yeah, they're definitely up there. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. Obviously them and the Saints. I think the Saints are still a very, very good team. I think they got jobbed last year, so I'm kind of rooting for them. I think New Orleans has a really good shot.
So Alex asked, how do you think Tom Brady will be this year?
In regular football, fine. In fantasy football, I think he'll be, 12 to 15, something like
decent.
that. Yeah, decent.
Have some weeks.
He'll have a few good weeks, but as we've talked about before, I don't think that there's any reason for him to put up major numbers. I think they can win without him slinging the ball, 40 times a game or something stupid.
East Los 024. Would you trade EKELER for Duke Johnson in a PPR league? This is tough.
Would I trade
EKELER for Duke Johnson?
Can we wait a week
and just see if Houston brings anybody in? See if Melvin Gordon comes back. It's a tough one.
Honestly,
I would lean Duke Johnson right now.
I would too. I would say yes. I would trade for Duke.
Yeah,
but it could completely switch. But as of right now, the way I view it, I would say Duke. But it's such a topsy-turvy situation where Gordon could come back and they could add someone to the Texans. So, but yeah, I lean towards Duke right now.
Guarna asks, would you say that player rankings are very different when comparing full PPR versus half PPR? Not really. Not much. Even my standard PPR doesn't change a lot. There's only a few players where it really affects because the top guys all catch passes these days. They all do. There's not a lot of guys that it really affects for me.
Yeah, I think some of the guys later on and some of the running backs in the mid-tiers, obviously it helps out someone like a James White, right? Someone of that caliber, some of the smaller running backs. But no, I don't think so. I think it does, if you want to go up to the top, obviously Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, those guys turn into monsters where they already were very good. But no, not really.
All right, we got a question from Lawrence. Do you start Jameis Winston or Carson Wentz in week 1? So both are at home. Carson Wentz plays against the Redskins. Jameis Winston plays against the 49ers. I'm going to go Wentz. I feel safer right now about Wentz.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of them have good matchups. I like Wentz better, but I don't like the fact that we haven't seen anything out of him quite yet. Yeah. I don't know what kind of shape he is in, really. But yeah, I would still lean Wentz just because I like him better. But I think either one is a relatively good play.
I suck at fantasy. Asks, is Nyheim Hines going to fit in better to the Colts over Mack without Andrew Luck?
We were literally just talking about this.
I don't. He's not going to fit in better. Mack is still the back there. I don't know if anything can be helped in the Colts. I think they all could go down. I just don't know what Brissett is. So you can have the argument that they're going to be down in more games and more hurry up, and because of that, Hines will be in there maybe more catching some balls and doing that. I'm sure that's a possibility. Will it play out that way? I don't know. It's hard to say. I just don't like the offense anymore. I would say maybe all the Colts went down for me. Maybe Hines doesn't go down as much. I don't know if I trust any of them.
Yeah, I say it doesn't help him. That's what I would say. I think a lot of people will make that argument, and it's correct. If he is the third down back, he is very good in space when he catches the ball. But the truth is, even if I think Brissett is fine, he's not Andrew Luck. And if you're catching a ball from him, I'm going to like it better. So obviously, in my mind, Nyheim Hines actually takes a step backwards, but by how much? Because I think he was already ranked relatively low. And that's why, I mean, before that retirement, Craig actually liked Hines quite a bit, and he was grabbing him really late for a bunch of his teams. So
I don't know what it means right now.
Yeah.
I would like to say, oh yeah, for sure, it's going to work out. He'll be in there more because he'll be down, but it's really hard to say that right now. So I Suck at Fantasy has another question. Does Preston Williams have a chance to be the wide receiver 1 in Miami? Maybe.
I want to say it doesn't matter, but
Devontae Parker, Kenny Stills, Albert Wilson, they're all just not amazing.
Right. I mean, I think Kenny Stills will, just because of his time there.
There's rumors about trading him because of this whole stuff going
right.
on.
I mean, obviously, if they trade him, they trade him.
Yeah.
That changes. So, I mean, honestly, yes, because I think it's wide open for anyone there. I think that whole team, you don't know if Rosen is playing, you don't know if Fitzpatrick is, you don't know if Drake is going to be the guy, is it going to be Blige? That team probably has the least amount of answers. So, in that vein, yes, of course, it's still open for him, but it's probably not what I would bet on.
David asks, it's a trade question here. Adam Thielen and Leonard Fournette for Christian McCaffrey and Allen Robinson. Which side do you want? Thielen, Fournette, McCaffrey, Robinson.
Sadly enough, I still like McCaffrey enough. I would go McCaffrey.
I'd go McCaffrey side too. McCaffrey to me is far enough ahead of Fournette compared to Thielen. I like Robinson more than most, I guess, too. So I even like this trade better because of it. But McCaffrey's just that great of a player where you're going to take him there. Let's see here. What do we got? Okay. Hondo asks, this is a little bit of a question here. It says, I drafted Lamar Jackson as my QB1 due to him being a dual threat. Hey, I'm fine with Lamar Jackson there. But he says, our league has changed passing touchdowns from 4 points to 6 points, which I'll just say, we base all our stuff off 6 points anyway. So if you've been listening to us talk about quarterbacks, 6 points is how we just base it. Lamar Jackson is more valuable in 4 points, but yeah, I'm fine with it. He says, top ranked quarterbacks left on the waivers are Jameis Winston and Kirk Cousins. Should I pick up one of those compared to, for passing points compared to Jackson's passing game? I'm going Jackson, honestly, right now over those guys.
Yeah, if you have the roster spot, I would pick up
Winston.
Right now, I'd probably pick up Winston just so you have a backup, because Lamar's going to be running a lot. He could get hurt. You could get screwed in week 2, say. But yeah, I'm actually, tell you the truth, I'm kind of a Lamar guy as well. Even with that change, his upside is just so high that I think I'm starting to become more and more of a believer. Even though most of my drafts, I usually do what I just told you to. I would grab a guy, relatively, even in this past one we just did in Nashville, I grabbed Wentz for like $1 earlier on, and then I grabbed Lamar Jackson later because I really want to see if he turns out to be the guy. If I had one of, especially Cousins right now, I don't know what, he looked really bad in the preseason. And Jameis Winston, I think he'll throw a lot, but I still would stick with Jackson and go for that big payday. I would just, balls to the wall the first week.
So Wayne asked, should Antonio Brown
Is this a Wayne we know?
should Antonio Brown wear a black or white belt with his uniform?
I know he likes to be formal, but I would rock the white.
Oh, yeah, good question, Wayne. Thanks for listening. All right. So
that's got to be like the fourth time the white belt has come up.
Goalie Cam asked, does Andrew Luck's retirement boost or diminish Marlon Mack's value? I think we already hit on it, but diminishes it. I do not. I've heard this argument that, oh, Luck's gone, so they're going to have to use Mack all the time. Doesn't quite work that way. It just doesn't. I think this all really depends on Jacoby Brissett and what he actually is. If he's better than we remember him, if he's better than we expect him to be, changes everything. Mack might not go down. It might just be a completely different situation than we expect. But Andrew Luck is so much better than Brissett. There is no way losing him can help anybody on this team.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's just
put it this way, even if he doesn't go down in the amount that they use him, in a Luck offense, you're going to score more touchdowns. You're going to be in the red zone more often. It gives you a better opportunity in order to score. And, vis-a-vis, if he's not in, Mack has less opportunity and it hurts him.
So Danny asks, at this point, do you prefer Marlon Mack or Austin Ekeler?
Marlon Mack.
I'm still a Mack guy there. Yeah, exactly. I don't like him as much, but I'm still picking him at that spot. Would you trade David Montgomery and Tyler Boyd? So David Montgomery and Tyler Boyd for Devontae Adams. Yes, I would. I mean, I don't even care about the rest of the team.
Yeah,
I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to do that for sure. Dave, this is from Noah, looking for a future keeper. David Montgomery or Aaron Jones?
All right.
Yeah, David Montgomery or Aaron Jones? That's a tough one because we haven't seen Montgomery.
Okay, I'm going to say Aaron Jones right now.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, Aaron Jones. I say Aaron Jones. I think I like Montgomery's fine. He is good, but we don't know yet. And you still have Tariq Cohen. You're trying to figure out what Trubisky is. So he definitely has more question marks. If Aaron Jones stays on the straight and narrow, me and Craig both believe that he is talented enough to be a top 10 back.
Adam asked, why are people still high on Dalvin Cook?
Well, this is actually perfect. So just talked about it. I think he's going to be a breakout player this year. The thing is, when he is in there, he's terrific. And the thing that sidelined him has been injuries. And I don't think they're ones that are going to keep haunting him. You try to figure out who is actually injury prone and who is not. And right now, if he had one more injury, you would have to say that. But last year, he came back after, busting his knee in his rookie season, which he looked phenomenal in the first few games. And he finally got back into healthy shape. And, you kind of saw what he was able to do as preseason. Don't get too hyped, but he obviously took 80-yard, rush to the house. The truth is, he's that kind of player. I mean, if it wasn't for, was it 2 years ago? Who was he coming out with? Guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think he was the most talented back coming out. He has speed. He can run with purpose. He can run downhill. He can catch the ball. He can do everything that you want him to do. And in that offense, and especially without Latavius Murray around now, he's got to be that main guy. So if they use him the way they want to and he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be there just by sheer workload. And with talent, I truly believe that he has the ability to be a top 5 guy. That's how high on him I am. I don't know, because of the injury concerns, I didn't put him that high, but he has that kind of talent level.
Chris asked, what is your favorite league scoring type? I like standard. I haven't done a rant yet this year on standard, I feel like, but it'll probably come out at some point. Standard's just...
Yeah, why don't you give us the elevator pitch version?
I mean, it's just... I just don't get why a catch... A catch for 0 yards is worth a point. How is you catch a ball, you get 0 yards, it's worth a point. How about you catch the ball, you lose 5 yards? Oh God, I'm getting that worked up. So you catch a ball, you lose 5 yards, it's still worth half a point? Come on. You lost 5 freaking yards. You get a half a point for that. Ooh, cool. You really helped your team.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I think that's the whole reason. I think if you really want to go half PPR or something like that, I'm not going to fight you on it, but the full PPR, it bothers me. It's the same reason I mean, there's a lot of different ways, but I think the end all be all is the fact that whatever you do on the field, whatever you get points for, should be because you're helping your team out. A reception, maybe it does, but I would rather, in that case, I would much rather give like a point for a first down because that's more profitable to the team.
The reception's not what helps. The yards are what helps. It's the same thing. So why should we play point per carry? You know, that's a thing some places out there, but it's stupid. So, I mean, just not doing it. All right. So Chris continues. So favorite league scoring type, your favorite number of teams. So,
I could go.
I mean, I'm fine with 10 or 12. I say 10 only because that is what we've done in our league forever, our main league. So because of that, it's just built into my mind that that's the league I like the most is a 10-team league. But 10 to 12 is fine. I'm fine with either one of those.
Yeah.
8's too little.
Exactly. I would say 10 or 12 is perfect.
14's too much. 8's
12,
too little.
Yeah, 12 if you want to go a little deeper with people.
Yep.
So obviously if you spend a lot of time on it, it's kind of fun to be able to draft those guys later on. With 10, but to be fair, I think 10 is about perfect. But
yeah. And then he continues with, what's your favorite draft spot? And I will say, I do not have a favorite draft spot because my favorite draft spot is sitting in an auction.
Boom! Well done. Yeah.
I honestly truly don't have like a favorite draft spot. I guess I would say it maybe, man, it's tough. I don't know.
I think
we've done so many times. I just don't need.
It changes every single year.
Yeah.
Too. It depends on who you want to get. I can draft almost anywhere and end up with a team I like this year. But if I was going to do it, I would probably number 3 probably.
I was going to say 3. Yeah, that's about it.
That way you get a running back I absolutely love, and then on the way back I can still get the majority of guys I want.
So Brock asks us, who are the most important or valuable handcuffs? What teams can have a running back 1 showing with someone other than their starter? So I guess we'll go through some of these. So obviously, I mean, you could start out with the Melvin Gordon and EKELER thing, but no, it's just, don't know that one. But there's a lot of potential situations here. It's hard to say exactly. I mean, later on in the year, it's going to be the Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt thing. If you believe Gurley's, a risk, there's Darrell Henderson, but I don't quite know if it's Darrell Henderson. Malcolm Brown, I think, is going to be there too. There's Alexander Mattison, actually, is very interesting to me for behind Cook. I think that's interesting. Maybe it's Latavius Murray. It's one of the most valuable here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Murray has got to be up there very, very high. If anything happened to Kamara, obviously he would be pay dirt.
Jalen Samuels, I like that one.
Yeah, that one's not a whole lot of people talk about him, but we both are very, very big fans of that because we think you can plug and play on Pittsburgh, and Jalen Samuels did really well in the absence of Connor last year.
Yep.
So I think that is a really good one. Ito Smith, obviously, if Devontae Freeman goes down, Ito Smith is the only guy in town. And Freeman obviously just came off an injury. You don't have Tevin Coleman there anymore, so he would be an interesting one. I'm trying to think if there's any other big. Usually there's like bigger names.
Rashad Penny. I like Rashad Penny.
Okay, that's a very good one. Yeah.
Those are kind of the ones that I guess. And all of those guys we mentioned, I feel like could be running back 1s. There's a lot of backup running backs could be running back 1s if they're in the right team and the right, if it comes out. I mean, even if you consider Adrian Peterson a handcuff to Geis, if Geis weren't healthy, there's a lot of those kind of guys.
Yeah, and like Drake and Balaj, I don't think they're really handcuffs. They're kind of just a tandem backfield.
Yeah. Well, I guess Darwin Thompson right now with Damian Williams.
He's an interesting one. I don't know where they're going to end up with that one, but that would probably be the highest upside right now.
And that's about it's not even maybe Darwin Thompson the player. It's just Darwin Thompson being in that situation on that team.
Right.
Whoever's in that situation is going to be good.
The only other one, and then obviously if you have the backup to Zeke. So right now, was it look like Pollard? You don't know, But if we don't not talking about Gordon, we probably don't talk about Zeke.
Matt asked, should I go running back heavy or wide receiver heavy? I still like the running backs.
Yeah. This year, I think, for me, it's much more balanced.
Yeah.
I take a much more balanced approach where I think one running back, one wide receiver in the beginning helps the most in the snake draft. But I will always lean running back because I think they are harder to get. And I think you can make up for wide receiver later on.
Got another question coming in now from Hernan Villa 17. Which rookie would you pick to start? Josh Jacobs or David Montgomery?
Josh Jacobs.
I'm actually a Montgomery guy right now. I think
really?
it's more of the
Josh
team.
Jacobs?
It's more of the team, more of the situation. I think the Bears are better. I think it could be a better situation. I don't know about, I'm not saying talent-wise Jacobs isn't better, because he very well might be, but there's something about Oakland I'm just kind of scared about.
I don't know. I'll still go Josh Jacobs, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not.
I think he's just a clear-cut guy there. I don't think there's any question about it.
Man, you think Cohen...
Especially week one. I mean, week
that
one,
actually fits. There's another question here that asks, who do you prefer in PPR, David Montgomery or Tarik Cohen? It's Montgomery, right? Or is it not? Do you actually...
Well, this is a tough one because Montgomery has actually looked good. He's lived up to the bill as far as, all the hype. Going into it, though, I wasn't really sure. I liked Tarik Cohen a lot. I haven't picked him, so it kind of shows that I'd probably still lean Montgomery. But I think Tarik Cohen is a great stash in a PPR league right now because he will catch a lot of balls. And if Montgomery fumbles or anything like that, Tarik Cohen will start to get more carries out of the backfield. So I'm more of the opinion that it is going to be maybe not 50-50, but closer to that kind of split because I think Tarik Cohen is going to be in there a lot. So,
all right, final question of the mailbag from kanedough. Who has more value outside of Edelman in the Patriots passing offense, Josh Gordon or N'Keal Harry?
Josh Gordon.
It's Josh Gordon for me too.
I mean,
Harry hasn't shown anything yet.
Yeah, it's not even close either.
No, right? Josh Gordon, he played very well last year for the Patriots. He really did. He was a good player, and I think he's going to be good. Harry's just that actually this. You know what? Maybe Brady's going to be better than we think.
He might be.
Think about that.
Josh Gordon,
Edelman, Josh
back.
Gordon, and even N'Keal Harry. That I'd like James White catching balls.
Yeah.
Maybe we're underrating Tom Brady.
And we might, when Josh Gordon said, or they reinstated him, we're still figuring out the details of exactly when he's going to suit up and play. But when they said he was coming back, that was a huge plus in the column of Tom Brady because no one else is like him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's just a physical freak. He's proven he can do it. And he's also got something to prove and still relatively young, where he doesn't have as much tread on the tires because he's been suspended so often. He's a different kind of player and a difference maker that can definitely help Brady up that touchdown number.
All right. That's going to do it for the very first mailbag of the season. So make sure every week you tune in on our Thursday episode for the mailbag. Get your questions in before that. We'll definitely try to go through as many questions as we can each week. We'll do some start and sit questions, but if you want those, just really, look at our ranks for those. It's going to be pretty clear on what we think there. So trade questions, though, waiver pickup questions, whatever you got, and those, throw it at us. We'll have, do our best to help you out and answer as many questions as we can as we go on in the season. If you need any more help throughout, the weeks and stuff, go check us out on Instagram at Fantasy Football Profit. That's probably where we are at the most. Our website, fantasyfootballprofit.com. You'll be able to check out all of our ranks there, so go check those out as well. But that'll do it for today. Talk to you guys next time.